hands. Perfect. Bienvenidos, familias. We're so happy to have you on tonight. It is 7:04 and we are going to call this meeting to order. First up on the agenda, well, second really, we just did the welcome. Good job. Shout outs and wins. I would like to go through a few and Kristen is going to take a few. And the first of which is Fall Festival. Dominique did an amazing job. She pulled this fall festival together. Over 100 families attended. There were over 40 volunteers. And we couldn't do it without you guys. And also we had, I know you guys are very excited about the lighted pacifiers. You're welcome. That was also a gift. You've heard me say we have a great hookup with Sydney Pinkay over at Carowinds. And we got those like last spring, and we have been saving them to torture you with during Fall Festival. But it was great. Dominique did awesome. Um, Thank you, Dominique Bala. I saw you pop on here. Next up, Invest in Your Child campaign. We had Robert Koch, who leads our fundraising efforts on the PTA. So many volunteers. We had over 130 donors. We raised, I think last week, I wrote out some of my notes a week ago. Last week our goal was $50,000, right? We raised $77,061.76. We still have some monies coming in. We still have some, sometimes people tell us that they're going to donate and they don't give us a dollar amount. We can kind of guess based off of prior year's donations what they're going to give. But this is what we are expecting at the end of the day when all money rolls in. We had a lot of company matches. Thank you to everybody for looking into your places of employment to see if they match. And thank you, Robert, again, if you are on here, thank you for leading the way. Next, Taste of Collinswood. Taste of Collinswood potluck, always a favorite. First year in a long time, since before me, that there was a fall Taste of Collinswood. For the past several years, we've had it in the spring. It's great in the spring, but this year we wanted to use it as our closeout ceremony for Hispanic Heritage Month. So that was led by Zaina Lord, Ruth Medina, Naomi Batista, and over 25 volunteers. There were over 120 dishes served with 75 adults and 82 children in attendance. So they knocked it out of the park. It was a beautiful day. The kids were able to eat and then run outside on that playground with the amazing sunshade. And just have one heck of a time that really builds community. All of these events so far, just really, it's a lot in October. October is just a lot, but wonderfully done. Next up was Outdoor Beautification, led by Ross Glenn. We have Laura Magnuson and Liz Patterson, who helped lead the garden club. Ross always gets things to plant, and they do trash pickup, which kind of seems like it needs done daily. But thank you to all the people who came out on a Saturday to do that. Much appreciated. Yes. Um, Next on the list. Oh, here's Ruth. Hi, Ruth. I already sang your praises. Um, Book fair. Oh, Abby Blanton. Abby. I don't know if you're on here, but wow. She runs this twice a year. It's amazing. It takes some work. It also takes a lot of work from our lovely treasurer, Lisa Pugh, who has to come to the school every single day to count out cash and all kinds of things. This was our biggest year yet. There were over, what do my notes say? Over $17,009.14 worth of book sales. Um, at the end at the end of that, what happens is Scholastic says, hey, you can either have $8,500 in Scholastic dollars, meaning everything would have to be purchased through Scholastic, or you can have $4,250 in cash. The Scholastic dollars get kind of tricky because there are some things you can buy and some things you're not allowed to buy, and it's easier to just take the cash. And that $4,250 is going to go directly to Ms. Smith so that she can continue to update the library. I think on an SIT meeting recently, she talked about how many books were missing. We do a really good job of books per pupil. Um, but there are several missing. Check your houses, and hundreds. I can't remember the number, but it was hundreds. 600, says Sloan. Or, well, she can do, oh, the other problem was that we are starting to get behind in the year, like the average year date of our books. So anyways, all that to say, she's going to be able to help replenish in the media center, the biblioteca. So that will go to Ms. Smith. Rolling right along. Noche familiar. It was great. Thank you, admins. An admin always has to stay to keep that building open. And I don't know about you guys, but usually usually on Fridays between 6 and 8 p.m. If you've worked at the school the whole week, I'm guessing you don't want to be at the school. So really appreciate them taking that time and keeping the school open for us so that there can be open gym for the kids. There can be food trucks, again, community building event, putting a movie on in Spanish in the multipurpose room, and parents being able to meet and mingle. So thank you guys. And Kristen, I'm going to let you do the rest.
Yep. Thanks so much. Also, we want to shout out to Anna Engelmeyer and Priscilla Batista for helping with the principal coffee that we had earlier this month or the end of last month. That is an opportunity, if anyone is unaware, where any parents can come in and hear directly from Principal Modine about what is going on in the school and ask any questions. I will really encourage folks. There's going to be another one in January. I will only suggest that the attendance for the one that we recently had was less than what we would have liked. So for the January one, please put that on your calendar and make the time. It's an awesome opportunity to just hear what's going on and then ask directly from the source any questions that you have. But I do want to shout out to Anna for coming the night before and getting an amazing coffee bar set up. And then Priscilla came the day of and made sure that there were treats for people to eat during the meeting. So thanks to the two of you. And then in particular, every Friday we have Helping Hands where any parent who is a registered CMS volunteer is welcome to come into the school and help in the workroom, in the office. And with Helping Hands, we help the teachers with copying, laminating, cutting, pasting, well, maybe not pasting, but putting together things that they may need. Specifically on Halloween, there was a huge amount, one of the biggest amounts of requests that we had had in a really long time, and two of our folks that are typically there and really having a big hand in things were not able to be there. So Kelly Boyle and a number of other volunteers stepped up that day, and we got everything done by 1:30, which if you saw the mountain of work, it did not seem like it would be done before the end of the day at all. So huge thank you to Kelly and those of you who were there on Halloween to help us out with Helping Hands that Friday.
I would
And
like to
then,
give a huge thank you to everybody as well.
yes, Elena was one of those really critical people that was not able to be there, and we are so happy to see her face and hear her voice back on this call. So, yes, thank you. And then next, we have a crosswalk petition that is out. If you see the agenda there, I did put the link to that in the chat. So hopefully you can click on that and you can see the crosswalk petition. We are working through a number of different avenues to try and get a crosswalk there on Tyvola because it's super safe and everybody drives really slow right outside the school. So one of the things that we're doing is actually walking the neighborhoods of Montclair and Madison Park to talk to the neighbors about safe access for the school and probably them. I'm sure sometimes they want to cross that street too. Tina, Carolina, Jessica, Megan, Josh, and Harry were all really instrumental in physically going out and helping people see that petition and sign it. And so far, we have over 400 signatures. We certainly could have many more. We are having all sorts of conversations in many different places to try and advocate on behalf of our school and our kids to be able to get across that street more safely in the mornings and the afternoons to be able to come to school. So thank you to the 6 of you for the work that you did there.
Woohoo! More to discuss on that in the agenda, which we will be moving on to now. Okay, so yes, I'm still at BP. Okay, president's reports. I just made this up. I don't know. This is gonna be a mishmash of things that I just think you guys would be interested in knowing. First, PTA memberships. Last time I checked, largest ever, you guys. We have the most PTA members we've ever had, which is, last time I looked, 206. That is up 20% from last year. So thank you guys for joining. We appreciate it. We appreciate your trust, and your participation. Second, okay, I saw all of your claps and really cute things, and now everyone's gonna start booing me. I need a lead to this VIP dance. Bueller. Uh, it is supposed to be February. I want to say February 8th. You guys, I'm usually a lot more organized. Seriously, I'm so sorry. February 7th. So February 7th, we would like to have this VIP dance. I will repeat again in case anyone did not hear it, was not on the meeting last month. Priscilla Batista has done it. Gosh, I have a fourth grader, so ever since we were in kindergarten, maybe even before that, I don't know. But she's done it for a while. She's done a great job. She is willing to be your little fairy godmother behind the scenes, as well as take care of catering. If we cannot find a lead, we'll probably just cancel it and disperse the funds into other things. We would love to have it. I am not an event planner, and everyone on this board is up to their eyeballs in great work, which you're about to hear about, but it somebody else has to do it. So think about that a little longer. I didn't see any claps or hooting and hollering popping up on my screen while I was discussing this. I just want to point that out. But we would love someone to lead that. You will not be left alone, floating out there in the abyss. Priscilla will help you. And so will all the people who signed up to help with VIP dance. They're volunteers. That's what they're there for. Okay. On to field trip fundraising. We've heard from a lot of people that there are a lot of field trips this year, and 4th through 8th grade, that price tag on field trip starts to get pretty high. We have $5,000 in the budget allotted to field trips. The goal is that Ms. Burgess and Ms. Modine, they determine need. If you are in these grades, 4th through 8th grade, you've probably seen that communicated somewhere that there are scholarships available. People have been reaching out for those opportunities. So the PTA does not know who, we do not determine who gets assistance, but that money is there, $5,000 to help. An ongoing conversation amongst the board is if we are able to contribute any additional funds to that. At this point, we are in a holding pattern. Like I said, it takes time for all of those monies for invest to actually arrive. And so we're waiting to see what that final number actually looks like in-house and accounted for before making any adjustments to that line item in the budget. What PTA is doing already to help support the cost of these field trips is to help with the fundraising, help with the communications efforts, getting the word out on our channels. Um, we are helping to collect money from different grade levels that are looking to fundraise. A good example of this is I'm going to use Shake Shack because we used them for the fun run last year. And I know one of the grades is looking to work with them. Shake Shack requires, if you're going to do a fundraiser with Shake Shack, and they give back 30%, which is pretty impressive, you have to be a 501c3. They want to work with a 501c3 because they get a tax benefit, right? So we are one, and we're able to give that paperwork. They have the event, they cut the PTA the check, the PTA then puts it in the, I think it's 7th and 8th grader that are looking to do this. And we would put it in that 7th and 8th grade field trip fundraising line item in the budget. And then when it comes time, typically what I've seen done, when it comes time for the charter bus to be paid for, those monies will go towards that. It helps bring down the cost for everybody. I say that the PTA helps collect the money. It's really Lisa. Lisa, this is going to require hours of her life, many, many hours, and some of Ross as well. So, so we are already helping with those efforts. If you are in grades 4 through 8 and you do not know who your fundraising lead is, please email me and I will make sure you know who they are. If you want to help with fundraising efforts, every dollar helps. Next
Sorry,
is,
Sherry, I
yeah,
had a quick question.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
the field trip fundraising, is that meant to cover cost over and above what parents pay for their individual students? Like, so when,
It,
like, let's say for instance, it's $16 for a kid to go, is that like a subsidized cost?
um, in your grades, yes. Well, like, but so it would be, we're mainly helping grades 4 through 8, and those are the ones like that are, so it, for example, this is a good example. 5th grade DC, you pay 100, these numbers might be a little off, but you're going to pay $150 to hold your spot. And there's installments. And by that last installment, field trip fundraising has been completed. That money for everybody for their last installment can go down by X. Um, does that make a little more sense?
Can I
Yeah,
jump
so
in
ba
here a little bit,
so base
Sherry?
Yeah.
yeah, so
Mhm.
basically you're saying that it's going to be a bucket, and then when we get to that, because that's what I was going to ask, the timing.
Yes.
on the
Yes.
fundraising events and the timing on when Miss Modine and staff will decide when this will go. So in the meantime, these
Yes.
parents have to either A, continue, at least pay the deposit and pay their monthly until we get closer to the actual field trip.
Correct. That final
Okay.
payment. Yep. Yep. Good question.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I will be honest, I was asking because I almost, and my son's only in second grade, so the costs are much smaller. I almost didn't pay for his field trip, not because I didn't want to, but because I got an error message every time I tried to use the pay, like the short URL to pay it. I almost always have an issue when I'm trying to pay for things. So I wonder if that's a stumbling block for other people, but it's probably not relevant to the fundraising.
No, that's okay. It is glitchy. I've seen it in some other group me chats. Yep. 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 Um, any other questions on that at the moment?
Not a question, Sherry, but can
Yeah.
I just introduce myself and say if
Yes,
there's any
please.
fifth
Yeah.
grade parents on who are interested in joining our efforts to fundraise for the fifth grade DC trip, as Sherry just said, please reach out to me. We have a little group on GroupMe and we're starting to brainstorm and put some things on the calendar. We want to do a bake sale during one of the school events in December. And there is a sign up link, which I'd be happy to share. We're open to any and all help. Come eat brownies for sure would help us, but we want to make sure that we're branching out and doing events and doing initiatives that reach out beyond just parents because we're already on the hook for these payments. So we want to look into links and something that kids can send out outside of just the parents to help fund their tickets and so grandparents, friends, other part of the network. And then the other part, so that's individual. And then the other part is what Sherry outlined and Kristen about group. So anything that we do that raises money for the fifth grade trip will benefit everybody and take the cost down for everybody. So happy to have anybody else join us. Please reach out to me.
Tina, will you drop your email in the chat?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
I just dropped a question in the chat. Do we have somebody leading the 7th grade fundraising?
I think she might be on here. If I saw her name, Rukia. Are you on here? Rukia Caldwell.
If she is, they could drop the email.
Oh,
That would
she
be
is.
great.
Yep. Okay. She's in the chat. She just can't talk right now.
Okay, perfect. If someone or if she could drop the email or somehow, that would be
Yeah.
great. Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Okay. What else do I have to say in this president's report? Okay. Last thing. 3 p.m. folder, we're calling this. If you are sitting in carpool and would like something to do, at Helping Hands, we are going to try to have work for you to do available at the front desk that you could either take to your car and work on it, like cutting things out or stapling, or you can park in a parking spot, come in and park in the closest parking spot you can. Come in and you can staple and do things inside the office. Um, there's been a lot of need this year for the teachers with helping hands. I would say 7th grade science. Whoa, that's a lot of lessons that need copied and stapled. So the need is there, and if you're sitting in carpool and want to put your hands to work, some parents do this so that they get the best spots in carpool. I'm just putting that out there in the ether. I'm going to start having that kind of stuff available tomorrow. So, if you're interested in that, awesome. Walk in, park your car, walk into the office and ask for some helping hands work, and I will make sure it's at the front desk for you. Okay. I'm done with my report. Treasurer, you're up, milady.
Thank you so much. I don't have too much new to report past prior conversations. And meetings cover everything. I've got a couple of, I think, transactions and budget questions to wrap up this week. And we are accounted for and or reconciled through October 31st so far, and we will be meeting on the 17th, my wonderful finance committee, to reconcile the month of October. Let's see what else
Mhm.
I had. Taxes and our statuses of our various clearinghouse memberships and that are pretty much what I'll be working on for the rest of the month. And that's pretty much all I have. Our account operating balance is $84,343.57. And that's all I had. In interest of other discussions we might need to have, we'll keep it quick. But thank you everyone for all of your submissions. And as I said, some of the stuff I'm a little bit behind on is going to be the end of the week. And that's all I had.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Lisa. Let's talk budget amendments. So invest in your child. We have brought in significantly more than our goal of $50,000. So something, um, given this surplus that is around, oh, sorry, people are still joining. Given our surplus, which sits around $32,000, with around that $9,000 coming in of anticipated company matches that we don't have in hand yet, but that we're anticipating. The board talked about ways to use this money. So what you should know is that before coming into this school year, and if you come to every PTA meeting, this is going to sound familiar to you. We lost a family from this school. They moved. They used to donate 5 figures every year. So we knew they were leaving late spring when our prior treasurer, Dominique Bala, was working on this school year's budget. And we said, we better budget around that. Like we have to discount that. There's the only reason why we almost made $50,000 last year. The only reason why we hit that was because of this family's donation and $10,000 that was done in a match from Ham Jams. So we had Dominique do the budget, cutting a bunch of line items, cutting down, not totally cutting them out, but just cutting down how much money was in each of these line items. So a couple weekends ago, the PTA board met, 13 of us, and we discussed, since we have this excess of money, unexpected, what a blessing. Why don't we go through the past couple years' budgets and see what we would need to bring all of them back to baseline, essentially. To do that would cost $15,800. I am going to read line by line what they are because that seems to be the most transparent thing to do. And I would share it on the screen, but I can't. So it would include the line item we have for copies and stamps. We would increase that by $2,000, bringing it to $3,000. That's what it usually has been in the past. Same for all of these that I'm about to read. Web hosting and support, adding $300 to that, bringing it back up to $1,500. Cost of spiritware, adding $2,000 to that, bringing it back up to $10,000. Collinswood Casas, adding $2,000 to that, bringing it up to $4,000. Cultural events and activities, adding $1,000 to that, bringing it to $2,500. The active family event, that's the one that we do at Sky Zone, bringing that up $1,500 to $3,000. Middle school discretionary, bringing that up $1,000 to $3,000. Special class support, these are specials. Sometimes things come up, and it's just kind of a discretionary. Bringing that up $500 so that it's $1,000. I have a good example of this actually. Ms. Britt, if your kid is in computer science, what is it? Computer science 3. She was asking for $600 to get these career path boxes, which sound really cool for those middle schoolers in her class. She doesn't have a line item. So this special class support, she can utilize the funds in that line item and we can reimburse her with that from that purchase. Art, raising that, giving them $500 more so that they're at $1,000. Band, giving them $500 more so that they're at $1,000. Health room expenses, giving them $500 so they're at $1,000. That pays for a lot of things. Underwear, little tooth holders for kids that lose their teeth at school. A lot of stuff that is not covered by CMS. Music, raising that $500, bringing it to $1,000. Professional development, raising that $2,000 so that it's at $8,000. A good example of that is a teacher asked if we could reimburse her for the praxis exams, which does something to legitimize her teaching, giving her extra credentials, I guess, and it was over $300. It might have been $350. That could be pulled from that line item so that a teacher making not very much, so that we can reimburse for that those exams, which we did already. Music, adding $500 to their budget so that they're at $1,000. I already said that. I'm so sorry. Last one, staff appreciation and support, raising that $1,000 so that we are at $6,000. That was very wordy. I'm really sorry. I feel like I had to say it so that everyone can go back and listen to it since we're recording. And since we have to make a motion and everybody has to vote on it. To pull that all together, first, let me just ask, does anybody have any questions about that in general? Bringing all of these budget line items that were cut to some degree, bringing them back up to baseline.
My question is that what you're trying to do right now? Because if you're trying to do that, you have to make a motion per line
Well,
item, per thing.
no, I wanted to read them all out so that then I can make the motion and say, I move that the PTA approves the proposed budget amendments to increase these programs and support line items to the cost of $15,800.
Hmm. Okay.
I don't think everyone
Sherry,
wants to sit here and have me make a separate motion for over 10 line items.
Well, I'm
Sherry,
not the
I have a
treasurer.
different total for what it's worth.
Please tell me.
I have 16,300 from the line items, and I was trying to follow along with them from the notes from with you reading them, but
Can I tell you something?
hmm.
It is 16,300, but I think I need readers soon, you guys.
So
That eight, it's not an eight, it's a three. Oh my gosh. I'm getting old in front of everybody.
I just want to make sure we're
Yes.
making the motion on the correct
Okay.
amount.
Thank you for that clarification. Oh my Lanta. Okay. Um, I'm seeing questions pop into the chat, so I was just trying to be mindful of that as well. If anyone, you know what, someone just tell me if I need to answer a question in the chat. Okay. Any questions about those line items or want me to review that before I make the motion? Okay. Perfect. Okay. So
Go take a bath, baby.
yeah, Sarah, you tell them, tell those kids to take a bath. It is bath time. I concur.
I am so sorry. I had no idea I was not muted.
I'm still in the BP parking lot. No one's taking a bath tonight.
I am going to
Um,
put those line items in the chat so everyone can read them.
oh my gosh, you're the best secretary. You know
I
what?
try to put it in the doc, but chat's the best I can do.
Everyone read through that a moment while I also blow your minds because I do want to add 3 more line items tonight that I will make motions to do, but I want to give you a background on them first. There is a movie licensing that we pay for every year that's never been an official line item in the budget. We've always found a line item to pull from for it. But it deserves its own. This movie licensing costs $2,000 every year, and that's so that the teachers can show movies in the school legally. There's also a line item. This is also going to blow your mind. At the end of the year, we pay for paper shredding, the PTA for the school. It's a privacy concern. All these documents, they need shredded. That's $800. That too, we always find somewhere to pull from, but it's a hefty enough chunk of change that it really deserves its own line item. And no, CMS does not pay for that, interestingly. So thank you to everyone who donated to invest. Those are 2 things that your money does go to every year. So I'm going to end up making a motion to add those line items to the budget as well. The third line item, or the third thing I want to add, other than this chunk that you all are diligently reviewing right now, is the 5th grade field trip fundraising line item. As you heard, Tina, they have fundraising things planned. They're ready to go. And that money needs somewhere to sit and be collected as it comes in. So I'm going to start with the simple 3 first. I move that the PTA approves adding a line item called movie licensing for $2,000. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Perfect. We will add in movie licensing, $2,000 to our budget. Next up, I make a motion for adding the line item. End of year paper shredding, $800 to the budget. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay.
Hey, before you go to the third one, I
Yeah.
just want some clarification on
Yeah,
why
please.
fifth grade would get a line item if each grade is going to be doing fundraising. I'm just confused. Can you clarify?
Yes. Yes, because they haven't started yet and they haven't sent us any plans. As soon as they start.
Because the other grades have not, or because
Yeah.
oh,
Yes,
got
correct.
it. So
Yeah.
each grade would get a line item once they start the fundraising.
Absolutely. And that's a
Okay.
good question. Yes. And yes,
Okay.
they would.
Great,
Mhm.
thanks.
Yeah, of course. I make a motion to add a line item for fifth grade field trip fundraising. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Lori so graciously added all of those things for your viewing pleasure. So I just want to ask one more time, any questions on those? Okay. So I make a motion that the PTA approves these proposed budget amendments to increase these support line items,
I
which
second.
will be which will be in total of $16,300.
I second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Okay, I am sure you guys are sick of hearing me talk, so I am going to hand it over to Jasmine Aguilar for a middle school update. Jasmine. Actually, is Jasmine on here? I'm not even sure. I don't see her.
Yeah, she's not
Okay.
on the. I don't think she's on here.
All right.
Hey
Middle
Sherry, if you
school.
wanted to give your voice a break, do you want to flip to advocacy and then we can go back up?
You can. I saw Ross is on here. That say yes to recess can be Ross.
Okay.
And I will just say the middle school, college, and career ready fair is going to be in February. It is on our Instagram page, the little messaging about it. Guys, if you have a really cool alma mater or if you have a job that you want to share, this is the time and place to do it. Ms. Britt is very passionate. She wants to have this college and career ready fair full of parents who own businesses or are in careers that want to talk about them. Maybe you work for a company that has something more formal that they can come and present and put together and have a booth. She would love various colleges to be represented. They already have some, but if you have a good relationship with your college and can get some swag or want to come talk about your college, Kristen, I think that links to her Google form. And if you are on my middle school resource text chat, yes, yep, that's it. Okay. Yeah. Please consider doing that. That would be super cool. I feel like being on the board for a little while, I hear middle school parents ask for this every year, and this is the first time I'm seeing it done, although maybe it's been done in the past and just unbeknownst to me. But participate. It looks really cool. Okay. I will maybe try and make it home while you guys do the rest of it, but I will be listening. Thank you all. Thank you. Oh, I guess I should say, take it away, Ross. Say yes
Oh,
to
it's my
recess.
turn. Okay,
Your
okay.
turn, yay.
Smooth transition. Thank you. Yeah, so just I'll be brief, but a few weeks ago, I started a small group on GroupMe that was just sort of generically labeled physical activity / movement at Collinswood. This is something that's been on my mind in the 3 or so years I've been at the school. It really goes back to kind of making the leap with our kids into kindergarten and just recognizing just like how long the school day is. It's a little bit of a surprise for me. I think, we're not unique here in Charlotte and North Carolina. Instructional time in public school settings has gone up over and over and over and over and over again. And, it was apparent to me, and I started trying to kind of understand how much time was devoted to instructional time in the day versus, non-instructional time, whether that's lunch or recess or specials. And, over the past couple of years in doing that kind of fact finding, I kind of came to the conclusion that recess is fairly minimal on any given day. There's a few things I think specific to our school that also kind of contribute to that. I would say as an example, one is that for our school, snack tends to be during recess. So that's obviously going to cut into the 30-minute recess period if a child chooses to use that time for snack. And also, Principal Modine was nice enough to educate me that the 30-minute recess block, the clock, if you will, for that actually starts when students leave their classroom. What that means is if there's transition to the playground or to the courtyard, if there's time to go to the bathroom, all that stuff sort of counts as recess, which I was a little surprised to hear, but that is the way it is. And it's not something that we can really change meaningfully at the school level. So I've gotten connected to a group that's in the process of kind of rolling out nationally called Say Yes to Recess, as Sherry said. The short story about them is they're a couple moms from Tennessee, and they sort of noticed the same things. They realized it was not really within the school district's ability to change the way things were working. So they actually took about a year and a half and lobbied their state officials and created an actual state law that's very simple, but it's powerful because it basically defines what recess is and says at the state level, all children in grades K through 5 should be getting at least 40 minutes. And that's not counting, walking or transitioning to the actual site where recess takes place. So there's a little bit of a movement already before I got connected to this group. There's another mom from a school called Old Providence Elementary School, kind of out on the way to Ballantyne, who's also involved. And, we're going to start taking the recipe that the moms in Tennessee used and see what happens here in our school district and our state. So I will put the GroupMe group link in the chat for anybody that might want to just take a read of what we've kind of discussed and what we're, things that we're actively discussing. But that is the update on Say Yes to Recess. And something that I will be working on. I'm sure others will pitch in a little bit, but for the most part, I'll be trying to stay connected to that and helping make some progress. I'll be at the school board meeting next week, the 18th, and I'll be speaking for 2 minutes on some of these topics. I could take a couple questions now, or I could wait until the end, whatever is easiest for the rest of the agenda.
Ross, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Is all really trying to get is like 10 to 20 minutes? Is that kind of not all like it's not important? I'm just trying to understand like the big fight with across the state and whatever is they don't want to allot an extra 10 minutes. Is that kind of where we are? I'm just trying to gauge what the goal is.
Well, I'll just give you an example for how it went down in Tennessee. Their mission statement was to get to 60 minutes of recess each day for K through 5, and have it be, one morning period, so 30 minutes, and then one sort of post after lunch period for another 30 minutes. They didn't get that. They had to kind of negotiate, and they ended up getting the bill or the law written for 40 minutes, but it's 40 minutes of protected time. It can't be cut into by anything else. That's also, an objective of a school. So where we are, just to kind of give you in a Collinswood example, our 30-minute period gets cut down, probably in half, if not a little bit more, depending on the day. If you think about the transition time, if you think about the bathroom breaks, if you think about the snack time, the actual unstructured, like true recess time is probably like 15 minutes or less. So, I mean, an extra 10 minutes would be a huge win.
That makes sense. I was just trying to, it seems that it shouldn't be so hard to get 10 minutes. I'm all for instruction time, but 10 doesn't seem so bad at all.
Yeah, the issue is, this is getting into the weeds a little bit, but there's guidance from the state, but there's no requirement. So there's an active child policy at the state level that says every, K through 5 kid should get 30 minutes of vigorous activity within the school day. And on certain days, they probably do get that. On other days, they probably don't. But that's just guidance. So it's really up for the school districts to make their decisions and prioritize what they think is important. And I think what happens is recess usually kind of gets chipped away at for other things. And those other things are important too. But, I think the Tennessee model shows that if there was just some basic law that can't really be interpreted, then by the time it trickles down to all the schools and the school districts, you got a much better chance of actually having a 30-minute recess period be truly 30 minutes of recess, unstructured recess. So I'll put the GroupMe group link in the chat for anybody, but you can feel free to reach out to me too.
Thank you, Ross. That is really helpful. And if anyone feels passionate and wants to get involved with Ross at the state level, please reach out to him. This is going to take some work, and and we all have limited bandwidth, and the more help there can be. Group of Tennessee moms took them about 18 months of petitioning their state legislators for change. So if you would like to be a part of that, please let him know. And next, waiting so patiently, advocacy update with Harry. Take it away, my friend.
Thanks, Sherry. Good evening. So today we had our site visit by CMS and CDOT and SRTS, Safe Routes to School. And we're fortunate to have with us tonight Stevie McKelly, who I guess we'll be able to sort of get some more information from her and kind of ask some questions of her. But maybe I'll first share what I heard from the site visit, and then we'll kick it over to Stevie. The conclusion of CMS and CDOT, I believe, is that a crosswalk is just not suitable in this location because of the way, predominantly because of the way that drivers drive on Tyvola. The CMS guy, who's a former law enforcement and crash scene reconstructor and all this, is saying, look, folks are driving 55 to 60 miles an hour in a lot of cases. And he doesn't believe, he's not comfortable that that a crosswalk will slow folks down sufficiently. And he's not willing to, put his crossing guards in the street, given sort of the existing circumstances and what, in his view, a crosswalk would accomplish. It just doesn't create enough safety to be viable. He is going to be pushing through his connections for more police enforcement, just generally in the area. He also indicated that there is an existing approval and authorization to have off-duty police assist with traffic control in the afternoons to help with the buses getting out onto Tyvola. And so I guess it's been approved for a while, but no police officers have picked it up. I think he's going to try and maybe push a little bit to encourage somebody to start doing it. The CDOT representative, I think, is what I heard is going to recommend to her boss that they do a study to determine whether or not a traffic light makes sense. And the CMS representative was of the view that if a traffic light goes in and that driver behavior changes as a result of that, and he gets kind of comfortable, then he would be willing to support putting crossing guards at the intersection, but that it's kind of contingent on getting a traffic light in place and drivers kind of chilling out a little bit. That's basically the highlights of what I heard. I guess maybe I'll kick it over to Stevie I think you had a chance, Stevie, to maybe talk further to CMS and CDOT after we left and broke up, but did I get it right? And what more can you add?
Yeah, no. Hi, everyone. My name is Stevie Michelli. As Harry said, I'm the Safe Routes to School coordinator for the county. And Harry, yeah, everything you said was perfect. That was everything that I had as well. Ultimately, our focus right now is improving driver behavior on Tyvola. So like Harry said, getting a police officer over there to kind of enforce things a little bit, which will probably take some time because people aren't going to change in a week or a month or however long it takes. But we are working right away to try to get police over there on Tyvola and Baker. So yeah, ultimately my job is to advocate and be a resource for you guys. Because I want kiddos walking and biking and rolling to school. But unfortunately, I can't build infrastructure or, magically have all the money to build all the things we need to get kiddos there safely. So unfortunately, right now, crossing Tyvola at all isn't super suggested and not super safe. But I would love to find alternatives to that. I don't know what that looks like right now, but I would love to be able to kind of make it the most convenient and safest way for your kiddos to get to school safely. But unfortunately, like if CMS and is saying like, no, we're not going to put a crosswalk there, I can't be like the one to override that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Quick
Yeah.
question though. There's a group of parents who live in the neighborhood directly adjacent to school who've been working for 5 years now to make it safer for kids on the same side of Tyvola to get to school. And
Okay.
whenever we advocate for that, it goes back to the crosswalk to cross Tyvola. And I understand that those parents want their kids to be able to walk too. But we were
Yeah.
hoping that the evaluation today was also going to look at Londonderry and Flagstaff.
Okay. Yeah. So today we were only at Tyvola and Baker. We didn't go over to Flagstaff. That's definitely something that I could suggest for sure. But yeah, today was specifically just Tyvola and Baker. But I do understand the concern for wanting to like walk over there as well.
Carla,
Make it over there.
I met with Modine on Friday, and she conveyed to me that she is reluctant to let those kids go that way as walkers because there is no sidewalk on Londonderry to connect. Oh my gosh, I'm
Yes, and
blanking on the
I've
name.
requested one and have not heard back from CDOT yet.
Okay. That is her hang up. Now, could it be said that people can make decisions for their own families and way that's a whole nother argument. But that was where she was standing as of this past Friday. And I forgot to put that in the group, and I'm very sorry. But I wanted to update you on
That's reminding me too, another point that the CMS guy brought up is that if we were to get the stoplight in, we would also need a 5-foot sidewalk from the street all the way to the school, because kids are not allowed to there has to be a sidewalk from a liability perspective. Right now there's just the road that the buses use, and there's no sidewalk, and so that would have to be installed too.
Yes, unfortunately, with like crosswalks and this kind of stuff, there's like a ton of logistics. Like I wish after today it was like, yeah, we'll just put in a crosswalk right now and everything will be hunky-dory. But there's just a lot of steps in order to get what you're wanting. And I'm going to advocate and fight for this as long as I have to. Because it's important to me as it is important to you. But yeah, I do wish that I could have came here and been like, yep, we're getting a crosswalk and everyone's gonna drive slower and all that.
Hey, Stevie.
Sorry,
Hey.
yeah.
No, you're good. Nobody here expected you to say any of those things. Don't worry. We've been around the block with with the school district and the city. So do you have examples of what you've been able to achieve to help get more kids riding and walking to school that we could maybe learn from, since we're just starting this whole journey?
No, for sure. So I think like a small and easier win for now is like getting the kiddos that are on the same side as the school to walk if they're able to. Even if that means like 10 kids are walking to school, even a couple days a week, that's 10 less cars in the car line, you know, making it shorter that way. And so I think it's just about, I mean, we have walk to school events. There's walk to school day in October, there's bike to school month in May. So we have a few schools, 4 or 5 schools that have 4 or 5 like big walking events throughout the school year. So making the events like with incentives and giving kiddos prizes and making it like a challenge for kiddos to walk to school, like they'll get a prize at the end of it or whatever it is. But I think it starts with like getting the kids that can walk to school safely right now, getting those kids to do it. Because I know that there's neighborhoods on that side of this school who I know are not walking to school. So how do we get those kiddos to walk to school first, I think is like an easier win right now as we work on getting the other side.
I
Safe.
agree. Stevie, I agree. One, I appreciate all of your advocacy because it's so great to hear. Definitely understand it's an uphill battle with a lot of moving parts. I just wanted to clarify when you said, you know, of course, without a crosswalk, you can't advocate for a safe crossing there, but for families that do live on the same side of Tyvola as the school, recommend a safe route program for that side of the neighborhood, despite there not being a sidewalk on Londonderry?
Yeah, for sure. I could also like come out. I know someone earlier was talking about maybe a walk audit. I wasn't entirely sure, but I could definitely help creating like a route map of like the safest way to get to school by doing like a walk audit and figuring out like the best ways to get to and from school.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely have that ability and could help support you in that way, help you like I'll be there to help facilitate that if that's something that would be helpful for any of you.
Yes, I personally think that
Absolutely.
would be great because then we can advocate for change with the school policy, having
Yeah,
that
for
hand
sure.
in hand.
Yeah, having something tangible, like having like a route map would definitely be helpful in like advocating for that and bringing that to leadership, I think.
I think Modine would acquiesce a bit if there was, yeah, a plan supported by Stevie. I think that's a good
Yeah,
call, you guys.
for sure. And yeah, I'd be happy to help with that in any way that I can. I have like specific walk audit forms that are pretty extensive, I guess, with I think what she would be looking for.
And Stevie, can you speak to what is the walking sort of range that is allowed? I think there's a question, or some parents are asking, like, you know, what is the, you know, when can a student be a walker, I guess?
Oh, like how far they have to live from school?
Right. Is there a rule on that? Like what is the rule?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, I mean, I know of some schools where within like half a mile, like kids are still having to take the bus because they don't have like a safe route to get there. Um, that's a really good question. I don't know the exact uh, distance of that, but I will find out and I will send that to 1.5 miles. Yeah, Jessica, I thought it might have been, I was gonna say 2, but that seemed too much. So that's why I hesitated to say that, but I will confirm if it's 1.5 miles or something different.
Yeah, I talked to CMS Transportation and they told me it was 1.5 miles. And I think that's also listed in the CMS policy somewhere online that I've read. But for the school specifically, the walker zone is the apartments directly across from the school.
Yes. CMS said today that the neighborhood across the school, Tyvola, was like a no walk zone, which I didn't realize. And so I asked for the data on that to see like if there's like a reassessment of that could be had, because I hadn't heard of that. So I'm gonna look into that as well. Is any of this helpful and making sense? I hope.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my view is, this is Ross, you know, the more we can do like to show our work is gonna be helpful, because I think we just have a school where, you know, it's a magnet school. There's less kind of natural demand for independent walking and biking, but
Yeah.
we do have, I would argue, a growing population in the neighborhoods adjacent to. So any other examples you have of like successfully instituting these programs in a school setting that's like ours, which is, you know, it's residential on one side, it's a little bit more commercial on the other side as you get to the South Boulevard side. Those examples would be helpful, because I think that will be kind of what people could kind of quickly point to and say, no, it's different here. We need to have a different policy. So if we can find precedent at a school sort of in a similar setting, I think that would be helpful too.
Yeah, I can look into that, like specific at magnet schools, maybe to kind of gauge what that's looked like. So I could find specific examples for you if that would be helpful. But yeah, I think even more so it not being like a traditional, like a walking school, I think it makes it even more important to have that option. So yeah, whatever I can do to help, I want to do that. And someone had a question about remote walk-up program, and I'm not entirely sure
Is tomorrow
what
the
that
race
means.
day?
There was some paperwork circulated earlier about the Safe Routes to School program today, and there was something like, you know, parents doing a meetup at a park and all walking or riding together. I thought it was called remote walk up.
Okay, perhaps that, or like a walking, biking school bus, which, yeah, a lot of the times, which is also something we can develop as well. Parents will drop kiddos off at a park or, you know, a safe street or whatever it is, whatever you want that to be. And from there, either walk together as a group or bike together as a group and get to school that way. So even if you can't directly walk from your home, if you can get dropped off a little bit and then walk the rest of the way, that's also something a lot of schools have done as well. So that's definitely a possibility too. And I can definitely help setting up with that development and trying to figure out the best places, like the safest place for potential drop-offs, if that's something that is of interest.
Yeah, I think definitely.
Yeah, I think anything that you can offer, Stevie, I foresee it making our admins more comfortable with this idea. So we really appreciate you coming on here and being so helpful. And if anyone else has questions for Stevie or wants to reach out, I think I saw someone.
Somebody put my email in there. So yeah, please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns or anything that I can help you with. I'm more than willing to help. And with the data for the number of people that live across Tyvola. I don't know who might have that data, but I can definitely try to ask for that and come back with an answer. Because that would also be helpful too.
That would definitely be helpful. It has been declined in the past when I've asked. But like I had said this morning, yes or no is usually the starting point, and then you just keep going. And
I think the key to that request would be anonymized data. We're not looking for personal information. We're literally looking for
just a number.
Some number, no addresses, nothing like that.
Exactly.
Yes, I will see what I could find.
Stevie, if this group of passionate parents would like to set up a meeting with you personally, whether it's Zoom or in person, would you be amenable to such a request?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Very
so
cool.
Yeah, just reach out to me. I could give my phone number as well.
Oh, you are brave.
So I'll do it. I'll put it in. I'll put that there
Don't do
too.
it, Stevie.
My work
Don't
phone.
do
It's my
it.
work phone. It's my work phone.
Okay.
I mean, we must have really made a good impression on you.
I want to help. I really do. So yeah, I'm willing.
Thank you.
If there's interest in like a walk audit or any of that, I'd be happy to help facilitate that. So yeah, just let me know who to contact, or if, contact me, whatever is best. But yeah.
Yeah. Jessica and Marla, I bet will be reaching out.
Yeah.
They're pretty on top of it.
Count me in for
Yep.
Yay. Awesome.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it.
Thank you for being so patient. This is not normally how long we go, but
No
all
worries.
that
It sounds
exciting
like there's a ton of good stuff going on. So all good.
Yes. All right, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great work, guys. This is the PTA, and this is parent dedication and just a few ideas, and you just keep pushing them forward, and it's really commendable. So kudos. Thank you all. We will move on to upcoming events, which will be really short because we've basically done a ton of events already.
It's already New
Just
Year's, let's face it.
I know, basically, yeah, right. Just so you know, I have something to add to this that's not on there, but hold on. This Friday, 5:30 p.m., Collinswood Connections is going to be at Heist Barrel Arts. There's fun area for the kids to hang. You can feed your kids there. This is one of those casual meetups. Some people like the Noche Familiar vibe on campus. Some people like to have an adult beverage. So that is for you. Okay. And so come, unless you're in fourth grade, because you will be on the field trip or your kids will be on the field trip.
Also remember,
Yeah, go ahead, Danny.
also remember, even though we are meeting in a brewery, having an adult beverage is not required.
Absolutely is not required. And they do serve fountain sodas and agua as well. Thank you for that. On the 21st, Kristen, can you drop the actual link in the chat? There's an SIT meeting on the 21st. They tend to meet at 7:45 a.m. Although I hear through the grapevine that they might try to do a few evening meetings this year. They meet once a month. I encourage everybody with passion, join it, see what it's about. It's student improvement team. So that is their work. They have to do this because it's mandated by the state. Thank you, school. I knew. Okay, thank you for that, Danny. School improvement team, and they have to do that per North Carolina government and laws. But it's interesting, and maybe something on there that is one of their pillars will be your jam. We have some PTA parents who are here that help lead that. Thanksgiving break is the 26th through the 28th. Everybody eat lots of turkey. On the 5th, there will be another Collinswood Connections at OMB after school. It's nearby. And that one's really cool because they'll have their German Christmas market set up. So they're shopping. Like if you have a middle schooler, they would probably even be interested in going. And maybe doing a little Christmas shopping and checking out the crafters. And then on the 10th will be our next general PTA meeting on Zoom at 7 p.m. Something that is not updated in the calendar yet that just came across my email within the past couple hours is the biliteracy night that you are seeing on 12/9, I think. It is still that same date, whatever date I have on there. But it is only going to be K through 5. Just so you know, 6 through 8 is going to have a different date, TBD. So this will just be that biliteracy night that you see in December. That's going to be just K5. I will update that. Thank you, Tina. 12/9. I will update that, and if you subscribe to the calendar, it'll automatically update in your phone when I have battery to my computer again. That is all. I will move to some closing remarks. Does anyone have questions or anything they want to say, get off their chest? Anything at all before we close out, before I make a motion to end the meeting? No VIP dance takers still, I see. Okay. Okay. All right, then I make a motion to end this November meeting at 8:26 p.m.
I
Do
second
I have a
it.
second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. All opposed? Yeah, we want this meeting to end. It's been long, but it's been great. So productive. Thank you all. You are awesome. We couldn't do this without you.
Thank you, Sherry. You're the best.
Yay. All right. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Aye.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody.